Now let's start with the AngularJS 6 minute introduction on client side AngularJS. Now before we already learned so many concept for the AngularJS. Now in these tutorials, in these videos, we are going to learn the templates. As we know, in AngularJS, templates are written with HTMLs that contain AngularJS specific elements and attributes. AngularJS combines the template with information from the models and controllers to render the dynamic view that a user sees in the browsers. A template consists of HTML, CSS, and AngularJS directories, which are used to render the dynamic view. It is more like a static version of a web page with some additional properties to inject and render the data at runtimes. The templates are combined with information coming from model and controller. There are the types of AngularJS elements and attributes you can use. The first is directories, and attributes are elements that augment an existing DOM's elements or represent a usable DOM component. Next is markup. The double curly brace notations is used to bind the expressions. The element is built in AngularJS markup. Now fourth is filters. Format data for display. Now fifth is form control. Validate the user input. That is the example for the templates. Okay. So in a simple app, template consists of HTML, CSS, and AngularJS directories contained in just one HTML files. In a more complex app, you can display the multiple views within one main page using partials. Segments of templates located in separate HTML files. You can use the ng view directories to load the partial based on configuration passed to the $root services. The AngularJS tutorial shows these techniques in steps 7 and 8. Now next point is the change detection. Change detections is the mechanism responsible for data bindings in Angular. Angular change detection mechanism is much more transparent and easier to reason about than its equivalent in Angular. When to detect the changes. Let's think about how the process of change detection could look like in the pictures. The application startups and models are initialized with some values. These values are also reflected in the views. The user interacts with the application. They click a button or type some text into an input fields. An event is emitted. An event handler is called for that event. The code can update some properties on the models. The models and the view are not in synchronized anymore. Now is the time for the framework to detect the changes and update the views accordingly. Now that is the basic figures for the change detections. That is templates. As we know, template consists of HTML, CSS, and directories. It contains the updated names and book names. The book name is the names. Updated name, that is the event handlers. Event handlers update the names, that is this dot name is equal to John's. The updated names. Updated models, that is name is equal to journey. That change detections can happen at the side of book names. Okay, that is the example for the change detections. Now we know when change detection should be performed. Whenever there is a change that some models will be modified. In the above example, it's a handler for a user generated event that can make the changes to the modules. However, three are other situations that can result in module updates, such as arrival of response to HTTP request, execution of callback pass to set interval functions, wrapping up module. The changes in change detection always starts with some sort of synchronized event. Now next point is the directories. AngularJS directories are used to extend the HTML. They are special attributes starting with ng prefix. Let us discuss the following directories. There are four types of directories. First is ng-app, second ng-init, third ng-modules, fourth ng-init. But first let's start with one by one. ng-apps. This directory starts an AngularJS application. ng-inits, the directories initialize application data. ng-module, the directory defines the module that is variable to be sent to be used in AngularJS. More directory repeats HTML elements for each items in the collections. The ng-app directory starts AngularJS application. It defines the root element. It automatically initializes or bootstraps the application when the web page containing the AngularJS application is loaded. It is also used to load various AngularJS modules in AngularJS applications. In the following example, we define a default AngularJS application to the ng-app attributes of a division element. Division ng-app is equal to in double quote, and then division tag should be closed. Now second is ng-init directory. ng-init directory is initialize AngularJS application data. It is used to assign the values to the variable. In the following example, we initialize an array of countries. We use JSON syntax to define the array of countries. JavaScript object notations. Now division ng-app is equal to the ng-init is equal to countries, local, names United States, local GB, name is United Kingdom. That is the United States, United Kingdom and France. These are the name of the countries. The third node, ng-repeat directory. The ng-repeat directories repeat HTML elements for each items in the collection. The following example we iterate over the array of countries. Division ng-apps is equal to is a list of countries with then text should be close OS means it repeats the countries in countries plus a country dot means locus country dot list order list and images. ng-module directory defines some modules or variables to be used in AngularJS application. In the following example, we define a module name division ng-app is equal to enter your name, the input type is equal to text ng-module's name. And next point is the data bindings. Data binding in AngularJS is the synchronization between the modules and the views. Data modules in AngularJS application usually have a data module. Data modules is the collections of data available for the application. Variable app is equal to angular.modules and my apps. I am a controller. My control comma function dollar of scopes. Dollar of scopes from first name is equal to John. Dollar of scopes last name is equal to data binding is the automatic synchronization of data between modules and views. In AngularJS, it performs the automatic synchronization process between module and the views. If the module is changed, the view reflects it automatically and vice versa. There are two types of ways of data binding that AngularJS supports. One-way data bindings. One-way data bindings use user interface does not get updated automatically when the data module is changed. We need to write custom codes to make it updated every time. Directories ng binds has one-way data binding. His value is taken from the data modules and inserted into an HTML element. That is the figure for the data modules or data bindings. One-way data binding views, views, templates, and modules. There are three MVC use module views and controllers in the instead of controllers, the templates. The templates and modules can merge into one modules and will be passed to the. Now, two-way data binding. Scope variable changes its values whenever the data module is allotted to a different values. It treats the module as a single source of code in the application. The view is the projections of the module at all times. If the module is changed, the view reflects the changes and vice versa. So two-way data bindings, templates can compile into the views and can get into the modules. Continuous updates module is a single source of truth. Changes to views update the module. Changes to module update the views. Then HTML views. HTML containers where the AngularJS application is displayed is called the views. The view has access to the module. There are several ways of displaying the module data in the view. You can use the ngbind directories, which will bind the inner HTML of the elements to the specified mode properties. Example: ngbind is equal to first name of ngModule directories. Use the ngModule directories to bind the data from the modules to the views on HTML control. That is input, select, and text area. Input ngModule is equal to first name. Now next is the pipes. Pipes were earlier called filters in Angular 1 and called pipes in Angular 2 and this character is used to transform the data. Then following is the syntax for the same. Welcome to Angular 4. That is the lower case. It takes integer, strings, arrays and date as input separated to be converted in the format as required and display the same in the browser. Let us consider a few examples using pipes. Here we want to display the text given to uppercase. This can be done using pipes as follows. The app.component.ts files, we have defined the title variables. Now last point in this unit is the next year components. Components are the logical piece of code for AngularJS application. The component consists of the templates, classes and metadata. Now let's start with one by one. Template, this is used to render the views for the application. This contains the HTML that needs to be rendered in the application. This part also includes the binding and directories. Now next is a class. This is like a class defined in any language such as C. This contains properties and method. This has the code which is used to support the views. It is defined in TypeScript. Metadata. Metadata is nothing but the data about data. This has the extra data defined for the Angular class. It is defined with a decorator. Let's now go to the app.component.ts files and create our first Angular component. That is finish here.